ECU?
R.
Do you bleed purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors?
Hoist the colors!
It's time for the most in-depth look into the world of ECU athletics. Welcome to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Here's Stephen Igo.
Welcome in, Hoist the Colors on a Friday. It's December 5th. We are live on 94.3 The Game, also live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. If you got a question, comment, concern, drop it there. A lot happening in the coaching carousel. We'll continue to get into that. I just had a report up on hoistthecolors.net, what I'm hearing on the John David Baker situation, and much more. We'll get into that a little bit. Philip and I have talked about it. I'll remind folks we are running a 50% off special on Hoist the Colors, so if you're wondering what's going on, we've got the latest there on the ECU front. Here, we're going to make our NFL picks later. We're going to make our championship weekend picks. We also got Bobby Howard in studio. He's brought to you by Sup Dogs today. Bobby, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. Beautiful day weather-wise in Greenville.
Gorgeous.
I mean, just spectacular outside. I am riding a little high. I came in on my high horse after a big week in the Pims last week. Fully recovered from our trip. I tell you what, that afternoon nap on Monday and that first night's sleep was incredible, but can't express enough. Had a blast with y'all Sunday night. That was a lot of fun. So,
yeah, we haven't really talked about the trip in itself on the air, so we can get into that. But, man, what a game that we witnessed. It was the best case scenario, I think, for almost everybody.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Broncos won, so you and Philip got to enjoy that. Commanders covered, so they were respectable. I won some money because of that. And then incredible football game. And
it really had it all, like the game did.
Yeah, and dude, our seats. So we were 12 rows up in the end zone, right in front of that Traylon Burks catch, and we were a little worried getting those seats if we were going to be able to see much and how much we could see. But outside of the depth perception on some of those runs, I mean, the seats were incredible.
And so Philip was over two sections to the left of us, if you're facing the field. And it turned out Blake Carroll was also in that section. He ended up bouncing out at halftime. He had some more important things to worry about, like an offensive coordinator search potentially. But Philip, I know we haven't really talked about it, but it was a great evening. It was a great trip.
Yeah, it was fun. You know, I think overall, we got there early, got to watch the 1 o'clock games. You didn't have any trouble finding us at the restaurant we were at, which I thought was good.
Straight from Boca to cold D.C.
We found a place to park where Thomas didn't get ticketed or towed. The train ride over there was easy. Like, honestly, the only issue with the trip was kind of the getting back to the Airbnb after due to not all the trains running, because I had always heard this, but we learned officially, and Bobby knew this officially, but when you walk out of the train station in the middle of downtown D.C. at night, it's not like New York City. There's actually no one there. We were about a block and a half from the Capitol building and a block from the National Mall, and just there's a reason the trains don't run. There's no one actually in D.C. at nighttime, so we had to Uber. But other than that, that Igo paid for, just thanks Igo. And yeah, man, I don't know. It was good. It was a good trip. It's a long walk though down that hill from the train station, but I needed the steps after all the beer we drank before.
Hey, I got a chain too, and my children love that chain.
How the kids reacting to it?
That and the foam finger, they're ecstatic. My only other complaint I'll add, the food was tremendous at the restaurant we went. The price was a little high. Now, part of that I'm sure is D.C. compared to Greenville, North Carolina prices, but some of
the apps are just small. I don't have a problem paying a lot for apps if there's enough, but like those sliders you got were small even for sliders, and then there were two of them.
Yeah,
give me enough food to make it worth my while.
Well, it was a blast, and glad we decided to go. Because Bobby and I were on the fence for a while, just because of the Commanders, and did we want to pay the full price for tickets? Ended up working out with the tickets, and excited we went. And hey, I got to cross off Northwest Stadium off my bucket list.
Hey, it's one you'll never forget.
Dude, shout out, by the way. The final thing on this, we'll move on since people probably don't care. But the Northwest Stadium concession, they have like the concessions where they're ready to go to pick up in and out, like contactless sessions, basically concessions. That was awesome.
Yeah,
I still need to check my credit card statement to make sure I didn't get zapped a bunch of money, but that was a super convenient setup. So definitely hope more teams opt for that. All right, we had the coaching carousel discussion yesterday. Bobby Harward, you're getting on for the first time this week. So first off, let's talk about ECU. Look, again, I posted hoistthecolors.net. I'll just say this, and you can subscribe for more info. 50% off special. It's looking more and more unlikely John David Baker's back next year as OC. We got into all that. So just
You said back or not back?
not back,
Yeah, okay.
not back next year. If I said back, more and more unlikely that he's not back. So knowing that, and if ECU has to run a OC search, how does that maybe change your perspective on the potential offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it makes it more difficult, obviously, for Blake. That's why you hope JDB, whether he's leaving or staying, as you mentioned, it seems more likely he's going, but hopes he makes that decision soon so Blake can get on, that jump on the OC search, and maybe he's already doing some stuff behind the scenes. I would imagine he would be. But the other big thing is, all right, what happened? My first question, what happens with Caton Hauser? And with Caton Hauser, if you want to do whatever you can to retain him, I don't love the idea of including a player in a search for a coordinator. I don't think that's the player's role, the player's position. But I do think you try to bring somebody in schematically that maybe fits what Caton does best. Because honestly, Caton can sling the football. And, the thing with the spread, the air raid, the up-tempo offenses, normally that really puts the defense in a bind. But I feel like Blake has found a good blend with that over his time here, because our defensive numbers have been really impressive, but honestly incredible when you consider the offense that it's blending with.
Yeah, to have basically the best defense in the league with a tempo offense, that just doesn't happen.
Correct.
You just don't see that. So, and we haven't heard much about Josh Aldridge. I haven't heard that he's looking around, but I would be curious to see if there's any interest in him, and hopefully there's not, so we can have some stability. But we'll continue to keep you updated. Again, subscribe to Hoist the Colors, and when news breaks publicly, we'll have more there as well on potential OC candidates, all that, if it comes to it. All right, the coaching carousel as a whole, do you want to say something?
I was just going to say real quick, it's not only impressive that with the up-tempo offense you have the best defense, you have two option teams in the conference, and you still have the best defense. Yeah. And those two teams that sit on the ball. Just throwing it out there. Okay.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, and if you dive deeper into ECU's per play metrics defensively, because they're on the field so much, it's even more impressive. So, all right, coaching carousel as a whole, we had kind of a discussion yesterday about, are you a believer, non-believer? I'll just, so we don't go over every situation again, I'll just say, is there a coaching hire or two or three in the industry that you're kind of a big believer on that's happened thus far?
I love the Billy Napier hire at JMU. That's I don't think y'all were able to touch on that yesterday. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones. I'm looking back at the success he had at Louisiana. That's a tough place to do what he did there. I think Florida was just a raw deal. Florida got lucky with John Summerall, I believe, because otherwise you look at the Penn State search and what's happening there. It's chaos, and just the way Florida runs people in and out there is nuts. I also love the John Summerall hire. I've mentioned this before. I'm a big believer in defensive head coaches or offensive line head coaches, offensive line coaches who become head coaches. The reason being is those guys collectively are working towards a unit, whereas a lot of times with offensive coordinators, you just want guys just want to put up as many points as possible. And when you have defensive guys tend to look more at the big picture, offensive line coaches, they're trying to get five guys to play together at one time. So really love the John Summerall hire. If he can get recruits back, like when we grew up, Florida was like the deal or one of them. And if they can get back to that point, I really like that hire.
Yeah, a lot of Florida fans not a fan of it, but I think they're just looking at Napier, and it didn't work hiring a group of five coach. But I don't know. I think Summerall is different. Like you said, defensive-minded coach. To give you a perspective of how the Penn State search is running, I just pulled up their Lions 247 site. Their leading headline, Penn State coaching search hot board 15.0. They're on their 15th hot board.
Good gosh.
As, covering this search. Usually when we cover a search, I think the most I've ever gone to is like hot board 3.0 or 4.0. They're on 15.
And you think about their writers, think about those writers' spouses in all the amount of time.
It's brutal,
dude.
man.
It's
I just know with this JDB stuff, I'm crushed at times, covering and trying to talk on the phone, figure out what's going on. So yeah, head coaching search, it's brutal, and to cover, it's rewarding from a a subscription standpoint, but it's just a lot. And
Yeah.
think about the AD.
I mean, he shot himself in the foot too.
100%.
He's kind of has to blame himself there, because that's the thing. You look at that job; they won 9-10 games like almost every year under James Franklin. They were in the semifinals last year, and they fired the guy. So, what head coach in their right mind would want to go to that place? But going back to the head coaching search, y'all mentioned it yesterday. Two of the hires I don't like: Silverfield at Arkansas. I think that's kind of obvious.
It's a reach.
And then what's his name? Gaulding at Ole Miss. Yeah. And honestly, I don't love the Golish hire. I'm not a huge fan of Golish anyways. Try not to let my personal feelings get in the way there, but I'm just a little – Auburn's a tough place. I think Philip mentioned that yesterday, and so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the Golish hire until he maintained DJ Durkin. I just think Durkin's one of the best DCs in the country, but, overall, I've heard mixed things on Golish from people close to South Florida, so I do wonder, as soon as they have some adversity there, like, how's it going to go? Because you look at it, South Florida, I mean, what do you have, 7 wins, 9 wins? I mean, he didn't really win that much at USF, which is a pretty good – I guess he had to turn around the Jeff Scott era, but, I mean, still, you're in Tampa, Florida.
And the financial resources compared to what the rest of the conference is. That's my biggest thing is, all right. What are you getting compared to your competition? And I mean, USF was at the top. You would think they would be at the top, but they just never played in a conference championship game under him. Honestly,
yeah, it's unique, and I just think Arkansas whiffed so much they landed on Silverfield.
Yeah,
because they whiffed on Golish, I think by leaking it out there kind of early, and that ticked him off. So, what do you think about Neil Brown in North Texas?
I'm a big Neil Brown fan.
Yeah.
A lot of guys on that rough staff knew Neil really well. There was at one point some coaches trying to help me get into Troy when he was at Troy. So I'm a big fan of it, just more so from a personal level. He's an air raid guy. He had some success at Kentucky before he went to Troy and was very successful at Troy. To me, the question with North Texas is, I mean, one, you have the advantage. You're recruiting the state of Texas, which is an incredible state to recruit. But to me is, what is the financial resources that North Texas is going to pump into the program? And that, to me, is going to determine how successful he is or not, because we saw he was not quite able to do more with less at West Virginia. And could that be some of the same at North Texas?
So we have Neil Brown there, Brian Hartline at USF.
That's another one. That's a boom or bust for me. That's either going to be he's rolling in recruits in a high-powered offense, or he's rolling in recruits and has no idea what he's doing running a program.
Alex Mortensen, the head coach at UAB. So Chris Mortensen's son getting the job. I don't know how exactly they landed here. He was the interim. I don't really know I don't know enough about Alex Mortensen, to be honest.
From what I've read, they struck out on nearly everybody. Yeah. It's not like they had a big pool to grab from. To me, UAB, man, they are holding down the American Conference pretty low.
They need to find a way to get Bill Clark back into coaching. Yeah. Because he had it rolling. He revived the program and had them winning Conference USA championships. So, yeah, I don't know. Other interesting hires: Will Stein at Kentucky, which I'm, honestly kind of intrigued by. By the way, Joe Sloan heading there as OC, which is interesting, given Stein's background. Bob Chesney, UCLA. Lane Kiffin, obviously, to LSU. We talked to Kevin Monroe, hiring, the son of Marcus Monroe, the father of Marcus Monroe, who signed with Stanford. Tavita Pritchard, their head coach. Jim Moore going from UConn and Colorado State. And James Franklin.
Dude, love the James Franklin hire. Yeah, that's a good one. I know people here are sour on Virginia Tech.
I think it's a great hire.
I think it's fantastic. You've already kind of seen it in recruiting rankings. He's won everywhere. The dude won at Vanderbilt. That's enough said.
All right, let's get a break in, and we will transition to our conference championship picks. We got a lot of picks to make today because we've got 9 conference championship games on the docket, and we have 7 NFL games on the docket because we still got to pick your commanders.
Left hand up.
I debated taking it off, but we're going to pick it. We're going to keep it going through the end of the season. So we're going to break in. Championship game discussion starts next. This is Hoist the Colors.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed, meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Allen, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
Pirates play here.
Time to play the game!
This is Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Football Friday. We're getting towards the end of our Football Fridays. It's a big one. Conference Championship weekend. Great slate in the NFL. A lot of playoff implications. So we'll make those picks here shortly. Also, if you got a question in the chat, drop it in. We do have Brooks Hill, our guy, in the chat. And so looking forward to making some picks here. All right. Troy at James Madison. Let's just dive right in. Do we have a standings update? We'll get that done.
Yeah, for Bob, we got to do the standings update. Yeah. All righty. Bobby Harward in first, 83-78 after a great 9-4 showing last week, which saw him go 5-2 in the NFL and 5-2 in college and 4-2 in the NFL. And I am in second place at 81-80, pair of games behind Bobby, and I'm one game clear of Igo, who's at 80-81.
Just hovering around 500. So Bobby takes the lead. He had many opposite picks of us last week, and it paid off. Now, huge slate this week, gentlemen. Could go in a variety of ways. We are going to pick every single bowl game, and we are going to pick all the playoff games. So we still got a ways to go as far as like the NFL playoff games.
That's what killed me last year was those dumb bowl games. I didn't know who opted out and who opted in.
Get ready. We're picking them.
Damn it.
Troy at James Madison, Sun Belt Championship. James Madison, 23.5-point favorite. The Sun Belt is a joke. JMU needs a monster win here to try to cement its place in case Duke wins the championship. I'm going to go Duke's roll at home and cover 23.5.
Wow. To me, dude, you got a conference championship game in no way, shape, or form. Should it be a 23.5-point spread? So give me the Trojans of Troy.
I'm just going to be honest. I had no idea what to do here. So what I did is I took their 4 common opponents and figured out how much each team won by in those games. And their 4 common opponents, which was Georgia State, Louisiana, ODU, and Texas State, JMU outscored those teams by 85 points. Troy outscored them by -2 points as they lost one of those games by 33. That's a total of an 87-point differential divided by 4 gets me to 21.75, which is less than 23.5, so I'm taking Troy. They are 21.5 points. JMU's 21.5 points better than Troy.
Is that how Vegas does it?
I have no idea, but that's the only thing I know nothing about either one of these teams. The only thing I can come up with.
Incredible.
We'll get more into this, but I think if you're a Sunbelt official, you're calling the game very much in favor of JMU, which I think helps the Dukes more. Conference USA Championship, Kennesaw State, 2.5-point favorite at Jacksonville State. Jerry Mack, who's up for some other head coaching jobs. I don't even know who does anybody know who the Jacksonville State head coach is now? That Rich Rod left?
I don't.
A
guy coaching Jacksonville State against Jerry Mack's Kennesaw State. Got no idea who to pick here, to be honest. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first because not Troy, we're on Jacksonville State. They're both in Alabama.
They are.
Jacksonville State beat Kennesaw by 9 at home earlier in the year. Hard to beat a team twice. Give me Kennesaw State.
I'm going to go with the better team here. I'm going to Kennesaw State as well.
I have no idea what to do, and I love my guy Blake Harrell, and he coached at Kennesaw State, so I know I sound like one of those idiots on College Game Day that just picks a team because their wife's brother went to school there, but you know what? I'm going to be that guy, and shout out for Blake Harrell, Kennesaw State.
Yeah, Kennesaw State, they have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 of the last 10 that one lost Jacksonville State, so we'll see what happens. Maybe the Gamecocks have the answer, but I am going to go with Kennesaw. I think they're a better team. North Texas in the American title. By the way, all these games are tonight. North Texas tonight at Tulane. North Texas is the favorite here by 2.5. Give me the Green Wave at home. Not that it's a big home field advantage, but I just think I'm going to roll with the defensive-minded team. North Texas got smoked by USF earlier this year. I'm going to trust Tulane more. They were in the championship game last year, lost it. Give me the Green Wave.
I'm with you. I'm shocked that North Texas is favored, quite honestly, and I think they'll handle the spread offense enough, slow North Texas down enough. Give me their Wave.
I just got a text from Parker Easton. I forgot one of our guys, Cam Hughes, who used to be a recruiting intern here, is on the Jacksonville State staff, and I wrongfully picked Kennesaw State. But yes, Parker, I'm doing with Blake. Sorry. Got to stick to it. All right, guys. Well, I talked to Rainey and Gullia this morning. He's there in Tulane in New Orleans. He said that the weather is supposed to be rainy, crappy, and cold. Give me the team who runs the football better, and that team is the Tulane Green Wave.
All right. Charles Kelly, by the way, the head coach at Jacksonville State. He was the former Auburn co-DC. So doing a good job is Charles Kelly. UNLV is at Boise State. Boise State, a 4.5-point favorite on the blue turf. These two teams played earlier this year, I believe.
Yeah, bloodbath, 25-point victory by the Broncos.
And that was in Boise?
Yep.
You guys talk. I'm going to check the Boise, Idaho weather for Saturday or Friday night.
So the last few years, due to conference championships, these two teams have played twice. Usually one of them is heavy Boise State, and then one of them is a nail-biter. Lately, it's been the conference championship game. Boise's cruised to a little more, and the regular season matchup's been tight. So I think this matchup, though, does the opposite of the regular season game. I think it's tight. So law of averages gives me a better chance if I take UNLV to cover here with Boise State being 4.5-point favorites.
I refuse to trust Dan Mullen. Give me the Broncos. Give me the blue turf.
44 degrees, 85% chance of rain, Boise State. And I think their quarterback's coming back for this game.
Madsen is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still got a lot of those guys that were on the O-line last year with Gene T are still there. They've still got a really good run offense if the weather is crappy.
Let's pick our first Saturday game, and we're going to jump on. We'll go to the MAC championship here before we get into the good
This is my favorite game of the weekend.
Miami, Ohio versus Western Michigan in, was it Ford Field in Detroit? The only Group of 5 championship that has a neutral site game. How do we feel about that?
I feel bad for the Ford Field employees that have to clean up afterwards for that game.
It's going to be that electric.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go work a MAC championship game that's going to have 2,000 fans.
Don't worry, you get the, what is it? I don't even know what it's called now. It used to be the Little Caesars Bowl, and it was like the MAC champion against like some team from like the Sun Belt, and there's like even less people there. But I still think that bowl game still exists. It's just called something different.
Kalamazoo to Detroit, Michigan is only a 2-hour and 8-minute drive.
But how cold is it out in Detroit right now? Because think of those parking attendants who have to stand out there to direct people to park for this
Yeah, but is
game.
there going to be enough people that you really need attendance, or you just have them pull up and pay at the kiosk and call it a day?
You would hope it's that.
Kalamazoo, 2 hours. Miami, Ohio is a 3-hour, 53-minute drive to Ford Field. Western Michigan, a 1.5-point favorite. Give me Western Michigan. Row the boats, baby. I know they don't do that anymore, but that's all I remember Western Michigan for when homeboy was there. I can't think of his name. Minnesota head coach.
PJ Fleck.
There you go.
Give me the Broncos as well. I just think they're a better football team. I've studied the MACtion a ton, watched every MACtion game throughout the midweeks. Give me Western Michigan.
I guess I should be riding with Western Michigan, but I'd already typed in Red Hawks for myself, so I think I picked them at the beginning of the year. I'm going to stick to it. Give me the Red Hawks.
For the record, I watch 0 MAC football.
Okay.
There is all your Group of 5 championship games. We just bundled them together, and we're going to stay ahead of schedule. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We're going to pick the Saturday championship games that have playoff implications on the other side, and we'll get into that. Should be a great day. Can BYU pull the upset over Texas Tech? I'll also tell you how that might affect ECU's bowl destination, so we'll get into that. This is Hoist the Colors on a Friday.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown. At National Finance, we're all about hometown support, just like ECU football. National Finance helps us win on and off the field. They've got your back when you need it most. Fast, easy personal loans for life's big plays. And just like us, they're committed to Eastern North Carolina. National Finance, proud supporters of ECU athletics. Visit nfcmoney.com for loans as fast as today.
Welcome back in to Hoist the Colors here on a Friday. Just saw this headline. Craziness. Michigan State receives $401 million gift, including $290 million for athletics. Just some of the money that gets thrown around is just insane, but that is college athletics these days. And many of the teams playing in the conference championship weekend had a lot of money to spend, including BYU and Texas Tech. This is a rematch of a game earlier this year. BYU's only loss, the Cougars fell 29-7 at Texas Tech when College Game Day was there. This one played in the Cowboy Stadium. Again, Texas Tech, a sizable favorite, 12.5. Which way are you guys leaning here?
Philip, do you want to start or you want me to take it?
No, I'll start. Look, Texas Tech, they are fighting for a bye, but they're not fighting for their playoff lives. BYU is. They're going to need to win this to get in. I do think Texas Tech wins the football game, but I think they keep it close. And, we're talking about could there be some corruption in the ACC championship game? If you're a Big 12 official, that Texas Tech, or BYU, also getting in is a big help for you. So I'm going to go with the Cougars to at least cover this.
I'm with you. I think I think the Red Raiders win outright. I mean, speaking of a team that has figured out how to balance a spread up-tempo attack with a fantastic defense, the Red Raiders are probably like the cream of the crop there. But I think BYU keeps it a little closer than it was last time and covers at 12.5.
Yeah, I'm a little torn on this one too because it feels like the game could go a variety of ways depending on how it starts. If BYU is able to score early, kind of play its game, they can hang around. Again, I see a scenario if Texas Tech jumps out to a big lead and BYU can't play its game, but it could get ugly quickly. But I'm going to lean towards BYU keeping it close. I'm going to go with the Cougars to cover 12.5. The scenario I've heard, guys, is if you're ECU and you don't want to go to the Military Bowl, there's a lot of layers to this stuff, but essentially you want BYU to win and ideally knock an SEC team out. Now, is that even possible?
So if BYU wins, they're a conference champion. They're going to be the third highest ranked conference champion. They're going to get into the college football playoff. Texas Tech will not fall from 4 to out of this thing. So the way the current rankings sit, Notre Dame, who is at 10, would get then booted out, and BYU would get in over them.
Another reason to root for the Red Raiders.
So really there's no – because the scenario I heard was like BYU wins and I guess knocks an SEC team out. And that would lead to the Liberty Bowl having an extra SEC team. Yeah. Therefore, they wouldn't take Navy. Therefore, the Military Bowl would get Navy. Therefore, the Military Bowl would not take ECU, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying, Stephen, and that was the case with Bama sitting at 10. Yeah. Bama was the first team out, or the last team in. So had Bama lost the SEC title game, they're claiming that losing a conference championship game won't hurt you. That's not what would hurt them. It's the fact that BYU then stealing an at-large bid, for lack of a better term, would then bump Bama out, but Bama jumping over Notre Dame, I think, is putting Notre Dame on the bubble.
What if Alabama loses huge?
They ain't leaving Bama out back-to-back years. Come on. You've watched this story too many times, Stephen.
All right, so there you go. Georgia, Alabama, Georgia 2.5. Kirby Smart, if there's one thing he can't do is beat Bama. Can he do it this time?
Wait, who'd you pick, Stephen? BYU or Texas?
Yeah, BYU. Okay. I'm going to say yes. I think Georgia gets it done and takes out the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, Kirby Smart's not going to lose to Kalen DeBoer twice in a year, so give me Kirby Smart.
2.5 the line here, by the way.
Yeah, ditto. I'm going with the Dogs.
Dogs. It feels like they play like every other game in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, by the way. So Georgia is the pick. Now Alabama's definitely going to win. The ACC Championship, Philip will be in attendance. Duke, Virginia, Bank of America Stadium. Virginia's a 4-point favorite. They just smoked the Blue Devils a few weeks ago. This line actually opened closer to a pick 'em. I think it was like 2 or something, has gone up a little bit. Virginia, I just can't see a scenario, guys, where the ACC doesn't tell its referees to just make every call in the who's favor here. I mean, there's just so much to lose with the conference.
Yeah, so there's tens of millions of dollars on the line here, and the only way I think they don't have that conversation is by some miracle that Troy and Boise State win tonight. I just see a 5-loss Duke team getting in over both of those 4-loss teams, as well as the winner of the Kennesaw State-Jacksonville State game. So I think that's the only way Duke stands any sort of chances if both things go their way tonight, or if they just go out there and win by 50.
So then conspiracy tinfoil hat. Do the Sunbelt officials, does ESPN tell them to favor Troy heavy so then they don't get criticized at a game that everybody's going to be watching on national TV for obviously trying to favor the Cavaliers?
Now we're going really deep into the weeds.
I would say if they're gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat on the Mountain West game, because the winner that's probably not in anyways. They want JMU to win so it doesn't look rigged, and then they want Virginia to win. So I think they're going to maybe cheat heavily in like UNLV's favor, because UNLV I think still gets in over Duke.
So Virginia's a 4-point favorite. I'm going with Virginia here. I can't trust Duke. I don't really trust Virginia either, but I'm just going to go with the Hoos.
I was quite honestly shocked at watching that first matchup between UVA and Duke, but I think Duke bounces back. And against immense adversity of the officials of the Zebras, the Blue Devils get it done.
14 penalties on Duke, 0 on Virginia. Duke still wins.
Look, the last time I went to a Duke football game, Duke won the football game because the guy's knee was down. The officials lied and said it wasn't down. Then they had a block in the side that they then reviewed, which is unreviewable, and said it was a block in the back. Then there were 4 players and 2 coaches from the team that ran on the field in the middle of the game. No penalties were called, and Miami was granted the win despite Duke clearly tackling the guy and Miami lateraling it back 9 times. I do not trust ACC officials when I'm in attendance to watch Duke football. Give me the Wahoos.
All right. The Wahoos are the pick by me and Philip, and Bobby is on Duke. And, I'm just fascinated by this conversation. If Duke wins, there's a lot of people that think there's just still no way the committee lets James Madison in. But I look at this schedule. I mean, they have lost to Tulane and UConn. Close games, and they have wins over some legitimate competition. Obviously, win over Clemson. Clemson's down, but still much better than anything James Madison has done.
So Duke, every loss they've had is to a team with 8 or more wins.
Yeah.
One loss to an 8-win team, 2 9s, and 2 10s.
But UConn?
Hey, man, UConn's got a lot of wins. They didn't beat anybody. Nah, I mean, I'm just being honest. Duke's really not that. Duke's talented. They just don't play well.
Do you think – all right, Duke, JMU win. Who's in?
I mean –
because they're going to say that if, let's say, Duke beats number 17 Virginia, they could say, hey.
No, look, by ranking JMU last week, they've made their bed. Look, they have laid out the foundation. They put North Texas, ahead of JMU, guaranteeing the American a spot, no questions asked, and they have told JMU, you are in if you win and UVA loses. They've made their bed. They've got to lay in it. They're going to lay in it.
I think what helps James Madison here, too, because I think you're correct in what you just said by ranking them this past week, their one loss is to Louisville. If their one loss was like a conference loss, to Marshall, Texas State, something like that, like I could see it being more of an argument. But because it was to Louisville, G or P4 team, and quite honestly, they've dominated most everybody they've played. So from an ECU fan perspective, I would love JMU. I mean, they beat who was in front of them. They can't.
And they've crushed most of the teams.
Right, exactly. It hasn't been close. But nothing would surprise me with as much money as at stake.
Exactly. I just think there's too many politics in play. I'm expecting a screw job if it comes down to it. Indiana versus Ohio State. Ohio State is a 4-point favorite over the Hoosiers. I'm going to take Indiana here. I think Indiana's legit, man. And, I know Ohio State's really good, but, I'm just going to expect this to be a field goal game either way. I think both these teams are great.
I think they're 2 of the best teams in the country. I think Ohio State is the best team in the country, which it pains me to say that because up there with the Philadelphia Phillies, I despise them. But I think they have a letdown game. They're going to prep for the college football playoff. John Gruden has said these conference championships are wastes. Thanks for getting on my side, John. It only took you a year. And then on top of that, they had a big win off of Michigan last week. So I think Indiana is trying to prove themselves. I think they come out and victorious here, and then Ohio State wins the national championship.
Ohio State has been told all week that the schedules are bad. They didn't play anybody in the top half of the league. The SEC's better than the Big Ten. All this, they come out, they make a statement. This thing isn't close.
All right, so Phillips on Ohio State. There's our college picks. Pulling up some comments before we get a break in. The 57 Tundra Man. I don't know what y'all's real names are because YouTube keeps flopping on what they want to call y'all, like between username and inserted name. He says, so who are the targets once JDB leaves? Joe Sloan was the guy. Now we may be plundering MAC Sunbelt teams. We always seem to be one step behind. Joe Sloan is off the board. We are one step behind. I don't know what the next move is. It was Joe Sloan the answer.
That's going to be my first thing. One, is Joe Sloan the answer? I think no. What has he done as a play caller to make you a surefire he's the answer, other than having ECU next to his playing career? All right. So number two, what else is Blake Harrell supposed to do in this situation? Because JDB hasn't accepted a position yet. That's why we talked about in segment one, you hope JDB decides sooner than later so Blake Harrell can move. Technically, he can't do anything. He's stuck.
Right. And there's things happening behind the scenes. It's not like Blake is just like not putting together a list or making contacts. But at the same time, Tundra Man, like, you can't hire an OC job when you still have an OC, technically speaking. So there's stuff happening behind the scenes. And, you know, I like Joe Sloan. He had a great year with Jaden Daniels, but I could be the coordinator and have a great year with Jaden Daniels.
Well, he wasn't even the coordinator. He was a quarterback coach.
Quarterback coach. So play caller at Louisiana Tech was mixed results. So I still think there's a chance down the line Joe Sloan could return. But he also would have taken – if he had an ECU offer and Kentucky offer, he probably would have taken Kentucky.
Yeah, so, I mean, and he's not even – I think somebody had said this on the board, but I could see Joe Sloan being a successful head coach more so than a play caller. From everything I know about him, and it sounds like just from people common friends that we have, like has said, he's a better CEO and manager that way. I could see him being a great head coach more so than a play caller.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's get our final break in. We'll answer more of these comments after the break. Final segment coming up. We'll get NFL picks in and more. This is Hoist the Colors.
Hurry to Greenville Toyota for model year-end savings on a Camry. Just $229 a month. $229 a month. Or new RAV4, $279 a month. $279 a month. Only during our model year-end move-out. Right now at Greenville Toyota.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville, we've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
It's Greenville Toyota's model year-end move-out. Save on a new Corolla, just $149 a month. $149 a month. Or new Tacoma, $249 a month. $249 a month.
Loyal and bold, we're the purple and gold.
Yo ho ho!
And we're back to Hoist the Colors with Steve and Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on a Friday, Football Friday. We always make our picks. Bobby Harward in studio. Brought to you by Sup Dogs. Check them out downtown Greenville. You guys know the deal with Sup Dogs. Multiple-time Barstool Best Bar champion. And just do so much for ECU Athletics. So support them and Brett, everything they got going on. Appreciate their support of the program. All right, comments section. Davy Jones says, why would anyone care about y'all's predictions unless you are 53 to 55% correct? Davy Jones, you have a problem with just about everything we talk about on the show. So if you got something to say, come say it to me. Or you can just turn the show off. This is our show. We're going to have fun. We're sports fans. We talk a lot of ECU. You're still here, so obviously you care.
He cares enough.
You haven't made it in sports media till you got haters, and we got haters, baby. We made it.
Mainly just Davy Jones, though.
Yeah.
He likes to complain about what we talk about. So
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I listened to the show all freaking week. You talked about ECU all week. We talked about it the very first segment about the coaching search, and you have this YouTube chat that you want to complain with things about when you could be asking questions if you want answers.
And we have a website, hoistedcolors.net, where we talk about ECU 24/7. We talk ECU all the time. 50% off special, Davy Jones. I'll answer any question you want on hoistedcolors.net, and I'll answer any question in this chat. But until then, I'm going to pick some NFL games. And there's no game Davy Jones cares more about than Minnesota, Washington Commanders, the game of the week for Bobby Harward and Dom Kasulki, who's going to join us here in a minute. He works in 94.3 The Game. He's a Vikings fan, unfortunately. And we have this on the list because we're picking every Commanders game. The Vikings are a 1.5-point favorite in Minnesota, but you just told me Jaden Daniels is returning.
He's starting. Per Dan Quinn.
Commanders honestly played great last week, and I'm going to go with I'm going with the Commanders.
All right, I am too, and then I'm passing the mic off to Dom and letting him tell us why we're wrong.
All right, as Dom's getting situated there, I just got a notification on my Nest camera that my picture frame that I ordered to frame my Joe Theismann autograph picture that we got this weekend has just came in. So I am going to prop that picture up on my living room coffee table, light candles around it as I cheer with my left hand up Jaden Daniels and the Commanders to victory. I've already took the money line. I know the Vikings have a good defense, but 9 doesn't stand a chance. Not against 45-year-old Bobby Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
Not against a zero pass rush defense where 3 of our top rushers are out, 2 of our top corners. It won't matter. He's still going to throw a pick. Mikey Sanders still pick incoming.
This is Nine's breakout game. I thought it was against the Lions. I thought it was all turning around. It wasn't, as everyone knows. It's happened this week. If it doesn't happen this week against your pass defense, I don't know what to say. At that point, it might be over. I'm picking J.J. McCarthy to have a good game. I think our defensive line, Jalen Redmond and Dallas Turner, are going to have big games. I'm going to give Jaden Daniels some problems.
Here's my prediction, my bonus prediction. Next week's mock drafts have the Vikings taking a quarterback.
No. I don't care if he sucks this week. We're not drafting a quarterback. I don't think we can admit that mistake. I think we'll fire our general manager before we draft another quarterback. I think he's out either way, to be honest.
All right, Dom is on the Vikings, as one would expect. And by the way, these two teams, guys, have lost a combined 11 games in a row. The last win, that Lions game, on November 2nd. Neither team has won a game.
That was electric. Can't lie. That was an electric game.
Don't even get me started with the broadcasting map. I have to watch Cincinnati-Buffalo, which will be 2 great quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, literally, D.C. is 4.5 hours away, and we're playing.
You can just drive back to D.C. to watch the game.
No, it's in Minnesota.
Yeah. Well, to enter that market at least, and then you can watch the game that way.
That's true.
All right. Any other piece to add? Are we done with Vikings Manders? That's about all there is to say.
Yeah, there's only so much excitement about this game.
Well, good luck to both your squads, and hope the Commanders win because I picked them, but I will not be watching a second of this game.
Well, I think you should because 9 is breaking out. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I'll text you
he's
if
gonna,
he
he's,
does.
He's going to be on the map.
I'll let you know.
Well, he's already on the map.
All right. That's Dom Kasulke, hard-working man for IBX Media. He was at the remote this morning as part of Talk of the Town, so appreciate his work. He needs to go get a nap in as well. But glad he could join the show. And that pick specifically was for you, Davy Jones. All right, let's get on to the next one. Davy, you know we love you, but if you're going to come at us in the comment section, expect us to fire back. Steelers at Ravens, huge game in the AFC North. Ravens 5.5-point favorites in Baltimore. 5.5 for me is just too much in this divisional matchup. Look, do I trust the Steelers? Absolutely not. But if I get 5.5 and Steelers-Ravens, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I said it last week. Steelers are frauds. The whole AFC North is a fraud. Who would have thought?
Ravens?
Yeah,
They did lose to the
been
Bengals,
terrible.
so, yeah.
They offensively, they just. I'm not over Zay Flowers getting me 0.6 fantasy points. I'm still not over that.
He did cry the whole way to D.C., Stephen, about Zay Flowers getting him 6 fans. That's all he talked about for 4.5 hours.
Yeah, me and Claxton both played him, and both of us got shafted. But who would have thought the AFC South would be the best division in football right now? Give me the Steelers to cover. Ravens win outright.
Nah, the Ravens are back. They know they're back. They're going to cruise to victory in this one. They win it by 10.
Colts are at the Jaguars. And the AFC South game of the week. Jansen Kids in the comments section saying Jags-Colts may be the most important game of the week. Colts haven't won in Jacksonville in 11 years. Is that a real stat?
Wow, what a pool, Jansen.
Going to be a washout, too. Two good running teams, going to be a one-score game. Well, that lines up with the spread. Jacksonville, a 1.5-point dog against the Colts. I'm going to roll with your boys, Duval. Jaguars get it done at home. I think the Colts are going to fade a little bit down the stretch here. I like Jacksonville at home, but the rain does scare me a little bit. But with Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, but I'm going to go with Jags. Just have a gut feel. They did get it home this year.
Jags have won 3 in a row. Colts have lost 2 in a row. You know how the NFL works.
Yeah, that's a worry.
On top of that, now that we have the forecast, Colts are a better roster overall.
11 years, though.
Jonathan Taylor running the football in the rain. Give me the Colts. Sorry, Jansen.
Look, I said it when the Colts got to 8-2. I said this schedule is about to get really tough. They're going to go into a free fall. I think they're a solid team. I still think they're a year or two away from being able to win the big games. Now, Jacksonville kind of in the same boat, but I'm going to favor the home team and also favor the hot hand. And, you know, I picked against Jansen's Jags too many times early in the season, and I owe him a pick, so I'm going with Jacksonville.
Denver, 7.5-point favorites at the Raiders, trying to win their 10th in a row. 7.5's a lot. That said, they snuck by the Raiders the first time at home. They snuck by the Commanders. I feel like they show up a little bit motivated and kind of put it on a team for once. They're kind of due for just a comfortable win. And I'm going to go with Denver to win by more than 7.5.
Wow, that's bold.
It is bold.
They're only big. I guess the Bengals early in the year, but yeah, give me the Raiders to keep it close. I do think the Broncos keep their win streak going, though.
Look, had it been a blowout last time when you guys played Vegas, or you blown them out last week, I would actually be picking you to lose this game outright because it's something Denver would do. That being said, big scare last week, big scare last time you played Vegas. I think Denver wins it by 2 scores.
Bears are at the Packers. This is a huge game in the NFC North. 6.5-point favorite, the Packers are. And I think I'm going to take the points in terms of laying them. I'm going to go with the Packers at home. The spread feels too big, but I'm just still not sold on the Bears. I think they have a come down to earth game. I think this is it.
I don't think the Bears win this game. Honestly, I'll probably be eating sup dogs and watching this game in that afternoon slate. Give me the Bears to cover. Packers win it, though.
What'd you say? I was watching
Packers.
this World Cup thing. So you're going Packers, going Bears. I'm going to go Packers. So, Bobby, you're it's probably another one where he pulls away from us.
Yeah, I mean, all signs would say, kind of like I said earlier, picking the road division team and a big spread, but I just have a feeling the Packers put it on them, kind of stake their claim in the NFC North. Texans at the Chiefs. Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites. This is the Sunday night game. Kansas City, again, backs against the wall, but Texans need a win, too, to keep pace with the Colts and Jags. I just don't feel like Houston plays very well on the road in Kansas City. I'm going to take the Chiefs here to win by more than 3.5.
I'm going to have the Texans covering. I think the Chiefs win by a field goal. I called that a few weeks ago, and it happened. I'm going to call it again. Shoot or shoot.
Yeah, the Chiefs have finally learned how to win a close game, but I don't think this one has to be close. Give me Kansas City.
Oh, that's 4 in a row, right?
4 in a row on opposite ends.
Yeah.
Or at least 3. I think we're all on the Commanders.
Yeah, 4 in a row because, the Commanders we picked first.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad, yep. Eagles. This is a big game. Eagles at Chargers, Monday Night Football. 2.5-point favorite. The Eagles are on the road.
Herbert's playing, right? Yeah. He's come out and said he's playing.
Yeah, and I think Hampton's supposed to be back too, right? Dom's
I'm going to Eagles.
Yeah, I'm getting a yes from Dom.
Eagles. Wow. I think Lane Smith's Eagles continue their free fall. Give me the Chargers. And Kenny Curling's your Cowboys stink.
I think they bounce back. I'm gonna go Philly.
All right, we're out of time. We just got all 16 picks in, or 17. No, 16 is the number. All right, 16 picks in before the buzzer. Appreciate everybody. Again, keep it locked on hoistedcolors.net. We have you covered there with the JDB news, all ECU stuff there. Always fun to do our picks on Friday. Bobby, appreciate you.
Yep.
Shout out to Sup Dogs. Philip, appreciate you. Dom, appreciate you as well. Good luck to your future quarterback, first-round draft pick. And we'll be back Monday, 12 noon, to talk about ECU's bowl destination, what's next for maybe a new offensive coordinator, all of that. This has been Hoist the Colors. Have a great weekend, everybody.